Nicola Sturgeon was left red-faced as she admitted that she would have protested the Scottish exam board as a teenager. The Scottish First Minister made the admission in a Scottish Government coronavirus briefing. It followed hundreds of enraged pupils attending a demonstration in Glasgow's George Square over SCAR's downgrading of poorer students' results. Figures from the board revealed that kids who go to schools in poorer areas were twice as likely to have been penalised by the SCAR as those in richer parts of Scotland. Ms Sturgeon has shown support to the student protesters, claiming she sympathised with their frustrations over this year's grades and that it was very possible she would have protested against the SCAR as a teenager. She also added that she knew how really horrible this will be for young people that are in this position, but she told students to go through the appeals process to rectify their poor grade, and refused to instruct the exams watchdog to cancel grades. Ms Sturgeon added, "I come back to the point that it's just inescapable. We had faced a situation this year, where because of the pandemic, everything's been turned upside down. So we've had to put in place a different system of assessing young people's performance and, while I absolutely understand the concerns about the system that has been used, I think whatever system had been used to do this to substitute for the exams would have led some people to think it wasn't fair." Exams were cancelled in Scotland due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, with students being assigned grades based on teachers' recommendations. But the SCAR has based their final marks for students on their school's historical performance. A staggering 124,564 students saw their results lowered by the SCAR, with the pass rate for pupils in the most deprived areas reduced by 15.2% from teacher estimates. Students in the least deprived areas had their rate reduced by just 6.9%. In response to the SCAR's exam grades, over 200 Scottish students marched on Thursday. Erin Bleakley, who organised the protest, has said she hopes it highlights how students who live in more deprived areas were disproportionately impacted by marks being downgraded. She said, "We deserve the same life chances as young people in affluent areas. How can anyone expect to close the attainment gap when your hard work can be wiped out based on your postcode? There needs to be recognition that living somewhere that is termed an area of deprivation should not be something that prevents young people from progressing to further or higher education." Ms Sturgeon has faced attacks from Scottish Green Co. leader Patrick Harvey, who hit out at the First Minister's empty words. He said, "It's not good enough for her to tell heartbroken pupils and teachers across the country that she sympathises. She was warned that the SCAR's approach risked this outcome and ignored those warnings. I'll be joining the young people protesting in Glasgow tomorrow, demanding that a no detriment policy be implemented in the appeals process as an absolute minimum." Ian Murray, a Labour MP, has savaged Ms Sturgeon as a grade snatcher. He added, "Margaret Thatcher was known as the milk snatcher for stealing primary pupils' milk in the 1970s, but Sturgeon is stealing children's futures. She has failed a generation of young Scots, and her defense of the system's inequality reveals that education is far from her number one priority." Jim Sillars, the former SNP deputy leader, added that poorer students have worked their socks off only to be judged on their background. He said, "What the SCAR have done, they have damned and injured the life chances of a large number of children by their decision, which is in my view a ludicrous one."